Good morning, Wednesday, the 29th of April. Would it shock you to find out that Jesus told his disciples to act like snakes? Well, he did. In Matthew 10, he was sending out the 12 to go and heal the sick, cast out demons, raise the dead, and tell people the kingdom of God has come near them. And he also said, I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves, so be shrewd as snakes and innocent as doves. He calls us to be spirit led, which means that we will be shrewd and know what to do, and also innocent and gentle at the same time. And I'm insured with Admiral car insurance, and this month they gave me £25 cash back because they said that it'd been a very quiet month for accident claims because of the lockdown, and so they were giving that money back to their customers. And so, would I reinsure again with Admiral? Yes, I would. Whether it was 100% genuine act of just generosity, but I don't think so. I think it was probably a good marketing ploy to give customers money back to want them to reinvest and trust them, and it did work, didn't it? It's very clever, generosity and clever marketing at the same time, very shrewd. And Jesus told us to do the same thing with our money in the parable of the shrewd manager. Do you remember it in Luke chapter 16? The manager was just about to be sacked because he'd been lazy and wasting his owner's possessions and money. And so he thought quickly, before I'm sacked, I need to gain friends and influence people. So what I'll do is I'll call people up, and whatever they owe, I'll half it, or I'll knock some money off so they can pay off their debts. And so when I am sacked, because I'm no good at digging holes or I'm too proud to beg, at least then I'll have some friends and maybe they'll look after me. And then Jesus says that in where is it? Verse 8, the master commended his dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light. That's you and I. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into an eternal dwellings. So the finances, the money that God gives us, we are to use shrewdly to influence the world and those around us as well. And it made me think of something that one of our church members did recently. They didn't really need their garden sorting out, but they knew a couple of young lads that lived in their area that were up to no good and going down a wrong path. And so what they did was they asked these two lads if they'd come along and tidy up their garden for some money, enabling them to have some money, but also encourage them to do something positive with their time and being able to spend time with them as well, to talk to them and encourage them. So that was shrewd use of their money there in influencing people, and who knows where that will lead and what God can do with that. And also, it made me think of our post lady. We've got a really lovely post lady, and over time, I've given her a £5 note here and there just to encourage her and say thank you for what you're doing. And then a week before the lockdown, I was walking past another male postman. They work as a team, and I was walking behind, walking the dog, and the dog ran past the postman and woofed at him. And then I was walking past, and I was just about to pass him, and I felt God say, "Give him some money." And I had £20 in my pocket. So as I was walking past our postman, I said, "Here you are. Thank you for what you're doing." And I gave him £20, and he just stopped, stunned, and he just stared and said, thank you so much." And he just stopped there, and I said, "Have a great day, thank you." And I carried on walking, and I was only a few doors away from my house, and I was taking the bins back in, and our post lady who works with this man came up to me and said, "Thank you so much for what you just did for him. It just means so much to him, so thank you." And that was that. But then the next day we had a knock on our door, and it was our post lady again. And because the lockdown had started to happen, she couldn't travel in the same post van because of social distancing, so she had to ride her bike up to our house. And she asked whether she could leave her bike in our garage because of this relationship that had suddenly started to strengthen. And I said, "Yeah, sure." And then it was 2 days later that Marie spoke to our post lady again, and she shared how she'd struggled to find a certain flour, baking flour, McDougal's or McDowell's. Her mum wouldn't have, or her gran wouldn't want any other make apart from McDowell's, and she couldn't find McDowell's, and there was a shortage of flour. So when Marie went to the shops, Marie actually managed to find this precise bag of flour and walked back home. And sure enough, she bumped into our post lady again and gave her the bag of flour. And the post lady was overwhelmed that someone would actually go out of the way and do that for her. And so here we have perhaps a relationship building. And so whenever we have a poster, say, in our window that says Jesus is risen, how much more will that speak volumes to our post lady or to whoever it is that you've been building a relationship with, because you've been shrewdly using your resources, your time, and your money to make friends and influence people in a good way, so that actually when you do share the gospel, when they do see something about you that speaks of Jesus, they're ready. They believe you. They trust in you. Just like I'm ready to reinvest in Admiral when it comes to renewal time. So good on you, folks. God bless you. Bye bye.